Welcome to SVR Sports Picks. My name is Peter Loshak. Today is Thursday, June 8th, and we are in the midst of the very controversial, very interesting NBA Finals 2017. Game 4 tips tomorrow on Friday, and we are going to talk with Al McMordie, Big Al McMordie from BigAl.com to get his take on the current betting odds for Game 4. Al McMordie, thanks for being back with us. We do this call with you every Thursday. It's really been a pretty unusual playoffs in general, and particularly a pretty unusual finals here. We usually see them much more competitive than they have been than this series has been so far. And Al McMordie, at the beginning of the playoffs, you predicted that Golden State to win, to go 16-0 in the playoffs was a very real possibility and probably a very good bet. They are now 15-0, standing on the precipice of that. Al McMordie, what do you have to say for yourself? And what do you have to say? What are your general thoughts about how Game 3 went and how the finals have gone so far?
Well, I've been predicting, as you just mentioned, I've been predicting 16-0 going all the way back to last summer. I've written about it for the last 11 months. I really believed it was going to happen, and it's going to be the biggest score I've ever made in my life. I rolled over series bets, series sweeps bets against Portland, Utah, San Antonio, and Cleveland for an effective payoff of 179-1. It's not shocking. And, in our last call last Thursday, one of the things I mentioned that if a team goes up 3-0, then Game 4 generally is a fait accompli, which is French for done deal. And you can see the point spread now for this next game is 6 or 6.5 compared to 3 or 3.5 for game number 3. That just kind of reflects what happens in a Game 4 situation when a team is down 3-0. It's been an interesting playoffs, I guess, is one way you would say. I still go back to the Kawhi Leonard, injury in Game 1 versus San Antonio. We'll never know what would have happened had Zaza Pachulia not stepped under Kawhi Leonard. That could have been a competitive 4-1 or 4-2 or even 4-3 series. Who knows? But none of these other teams had the coaching and the defense to contain Golden State. So only San Antonio was going to be the team that could have given Golden State a run for its money.
Wow. So if Golden State wins Game 4, which now obviously you could hedge out at a massive profit if you wanted to take that route, that's going to be the biggest of your entire gambling career, the biggest score of your entire gambling career.
Yeah, and I'm not going to hedge. I've made enough money in my career that I can, if I win, I win. If I lose, I lose. One of the things I like to say is if it's 99% right, then it's 100% wrong. And if they go 16-1, then I was wrong.
Right.
I wasn't right. So, I'm willing to, go for it here. It's not a big deal to me. And, I'm pretty confident that they can win the game. But I am going to throw you a curveball. I actually do like Cleveland plus the 6.5 points on Friday. Yeah, and I'm going to throw a stat out to you, and this will blow your mind. Going back to 1995, teams with a 750 or better win percentage, these are the best teams in NBA history. When they are up 3-0 or 3-1 in a playoff series, these teams are 2-18 against the spread, including 0-16 versus teams with a win percentage of 530 or better, and then 0-5 ATS in the NBA Finals. You look back, I remember the Chicago-Seattle series way back when Chicago was up 3-0, and then Seattle actually won games 4 and games 5 to close within 3-2, and then Chicago won it 4-2. So it's not necessarily a done deal yet, even though I joked, in that, last week I said it would be a fait accompli. Game 4 is going to be a tough game, and I really expect Cleveland to battle hard. They did win it last year. They showed the mettle of a champion last year. They're not going to just die. And I think it's going to be a great game. I wouldn't be surprised if Cleveland won outright, and I'm going to take Cleveland plus the points.
Wow! All right, so you're saying that when a team is up 3-0, winning Game 4 outright historically has been a fait accompli, or whatever that word was that you said, but that against fait accompli.
Well, no, it's not 100%, but it's tough.
Yes, but ATS, they're actually a bad bet.
Well, no, don't forget the one thing I said there was when you have a 750 win percentage or better.
Okay.
The great teams are the ones that really don't do very well. Up 3-0 or 3-1. Could be 3-0 or 3-1. They don't do well in that situation. And, I think what they know, they're a great team. They know they can win at any time. And I think they take their, their foot off the the pedal. That doesn't mean they don't win the game straight up. They just don't cover the spread.
Right, right. And there has been this wasn't the odds makers setting this line where it is. It actually opened at about 4 at Pinnacle. Has gotten bet way up quickly, 6 and 6.5. What do you think is driving that line movement?
4 was a bad opener. In fact,
Right.
5 dimes was basically, I was talking with Scott Spreitzer, and he asked me what the line was going to be. We were talking at halftime in, game 3, and I said, well, if Golden State wins, it's going to be -6. So I was basically on the money, maybe a half point, too short. I saw the Pinnacle open at 4. Other books opened higher. Pinnacle was just off.
Right.
I don't understand that. Oh, and I do apologize. There was one other when I misstated my system. Those teams 750 or better, it's when they're favored by 8 points or less.
Okay.
Actually, when they're favored by more than 8 points, it kind of washes out. But favored by 8 points or less, then they're 2-18 ATS, including 0-16 versus 530 or better teams, and 0-5 ATS in the NBA Finals.
Right. Okay. And do you have any opinions on how Game 3 went? Do you think that the refs were trying to give the Cavs a little bit of an edge, or not?
No, not consciously, of course
Right.
not. No, I mean, I think there were certainly some bad calls. The only thing, if you had Cleveland in Game 3, what you've got to you want to go to Kyrie Irving and just strangle him. I mean, what was he doing on that, play toward the end of the game, taking all that time? All he had to do was get off a 2-for-1 opportunity, and then they can play defense and maybe lose the game by 3. I mean, it was just such awful basketball,
right.
And time management at the end of the game. But no, the refs weren't. I mean, the refs are human. They're going to make mistakes. They're going to, obviously, the home crowd can subconsciously influence them. That's one of the reasons why home teams have a home court advantage. But there was no nefarious intent on the part of the refs, that's for sure.
Okay, yeah, and it's interesting that there was a lot of talk about how teams that are down 2-zip in Game 3 at home tend to do well in the first half, and we saw the market line. When it was 3 or 3.5 or 4, the first half line was actually pick'em, and in some spots, Golden State was actually getting a half point, and of course we saw that Golden State covered the first half relatively easily. Here we are in Game 4, and now all of a sudden the first half line is back where it should be. A 3 or even 3.5 at Heritage. Do you have any thoughts or comments on that?
Well, I don't think Golden State covered easily. They needed bursts at the end of the, at the half to cover. They were down. I think it wasn't a 61-59 or whatever the score was. It certainly wasn't easy. I think the line was where it should have been for Game 3, and it is where it should be for Game 4. Mm-hmm. They're 2 different games with 2 different situations. Yeah, a team that's down 2 games to none is completely different than a team that's down 3 games to none.
Right. So you don't anticipate that Cleveland will come out and maybe that their strongest part of the game will be in the first quarter, the first half, as a lot of people were assuming with Game 3?
Oh, I wouldn't predict that one way or the other. Mm-hmm. I mean, like I said, I do like Cleveland plus the 6.5 points. Whether they do their damage in the fourth quarter, the first quarter, evenly across a game means nothing to me. I just like them plus the points in the game.
All right. Al McMordie from BigAl.com. Thanks so much for your thorough analysis. Very, very impressive that he called Golden State going 16-0 in the playoffs in our videos here at SBR before the playoffs started, and has been writing about it for a year. In Game 4, he definitely sees a win by Golden State as more or less a fait accompli.
I'm pulling back of that. It's not a fait accompli.
Okay.
I think Cleveland's going to surprise some people and give them a bet. I'm not going to hedge just because, hey, I've been gambling for 39 years and I've made enough money in my life that I don't need to hedge. But and then part of me also wants to have the biggest score possible. I don't want to temper that by chickening out at this point. What's the point? But I do think if Cleveland wins the game, would it shock me? Absolutely not.
Right. Okay, but he does expect Golden State to pull out the win. But on the spread, like in Cleveland right now, 6.5 is a market line, is widely available, actually more available than 6 is. We'll see where this line closes. Just before we wrap things up, where do you think this line is going to close? You think it's going to come crashing back down a little bit, or do you think it might even get bet up to 7 or 8?
I think, and this is a guess,
yeah.
I think you're going to see it be 6.5. I think if it does hit 7, that's such a key number in the NBA. You're going to see so many sharps grab the 7. That's a tough number. I think 6.5 is where it's going to close.
Right. All right. Well, 6.5 is available right now. Al McMordie from Big Al. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Oh, I wanted to invite folks to go to my website. As folks know, I've had tremendous success in the Triple Crown races.
Nice.
Yeah, we've cashed the Preakness for the 4th straight year. With we had Classic Empire across the board, win, play, show. He did place and he did show. Paid $4.40 to place and $4 a show. And we've now cashed 6 of the last 10 Triple Crown races. We've got a big long shot winner in the Belmont Stakes. It's up on my website, bigal.com right now. Folks can go pick that up. They can also get winning baseball, basketball, and hockey selections. And you can just go to my website, bigal.com, and click on picks for sale. Or better yet, if you just want to get complimentary selections every day, you can get 4 free plays every day, 2 from myself, 1 from Larry Ness, and 1 from Scott Spreitzer. Just go to bigal.com and click on free picks.
All right. Al McMordie, Cleveland, plus 6.5 is Al McMordie's pick for Game 4. Al McMordie, congratulations on all your great success, and thanks so much for doing all these videos with us. Well, this episode of The Odds Couple is over. But if you give us a like and click SBR's logo at the bottom of the screen to subscribe, then you'll get all the upcoming videos as soon as they come out. And don't forget to take advantage of our website. There's free picks, live betting lines, and sportsbook reviews and ratings guides, and a whole lot more. Check it out now.